Hey, what's going on, Portal Masters? Robert Walkman here from CoinOpTV. Big week. We got all the Skylanders track team news dropping, and I wanted to make a sort of a bonus video. I was able to record Lou from Activision, one of the producers on Skylanders track team, giving the presentation, and I thought, you know what, I couldn't really show any of the gameplay during the presentation, but I recorded him talking about it, so let's show some of those highlights in this video right now.
I'm here to show you Skylanders 2014, which is actually being called Skylanders Trap Team. It's being developed by Toys for Bob, you know, the fine gentleman who made Skylanders Spyro's Adventure, Skylanders Giants, and invented the Toys to Life category. You know, these are the guys who figured out the first way to put a toy on the portal to bring it to life in a video game. But what's kind of funny is with the success of that, we now live in a world where kids expect that to happen. They expect the ability to bring a toy to life in the video game. And so we all went back and figured we need to push innovation further than ever before. We need to make sure that the magic is recaptured, and the magic in kids' expressions and their love of this franchise is sparked by something so unique and so innovative that it's like the first time they put a toy on the portal. And they came back to us and said, well, we've brought a toy to life in the game. What if we reversed it? What if we figured out a way for kids to grab into the video game, pull it out, and bring it into their living room, and actually not only give the ability to bring a toy to life, but to give life to a toy? And we kind of recoiled, and our brains exploded, and we got really excited, and that's where we are now, and that's where Skylanders Trap Team comes in. Now, what Skylanders does better than any other series, I think, is really takes that innovation but wraps it in a family-friendly story so that kids and families get a great context to understand and makes it feel like magic. And this year's no different. So our favorite villain, Chaos, he's back, has a brand new Grandmaster plan, and what he actually wants to do is lead an army of the most wanted villains in Skylands. And so what he's going to do is break them out of prison. And luckily they're all being stored in this place called Cloudcracker Prison, which is the most uber security prison in all of Skylands. It's actually made up of a magical element called Traptanium, which is actually what's holding these villains at bay. Now, you and I both know Chaos, know the most subtle of villains, and goes for a, quick, quiet prison break, ends up blowing up the entire prison, sending shards of Traptanium to our world, and allowing these most wanted villains to roam throughout the Skylands. And so it's up to us, and it's up to a brand new class of Skylanders called a Trap Master to be able to track down these villains. And so we're going to hop in. I'm going to hop in with Snapshot here, and we'll talk more about him in a little bit. And so we're not just defeating these villains. We're actually going to be doing something a lot cooler. We're introducing a brand new toy type called a Trap. And this is that piece of Traptanium that was blasted from Cloudcracker Prison to our world. And this is what's going to give kids the ability to grab the Chompy Mage and bring him to life in our living room. Let's see what happens.
What the? What did I do to deserve this? Oh yeah, all that stuff I did. Wow. Who will look after the Chompy? Hey, what's going on? Where am I? It's very dark in here, and it kind of smells like mustard.
Chompy Mage trapped.
Huh? What is that guy talking about? Oh, this is very weird.
And so you can just see, we actually grabbed the Chompy Mage, kicking and screaming, from the video game into our living room. And he now actually lives in this trap. So I'm going to take it off of the portal, load into another level, but just know that this is now the Chompy Mage. So we took what was effectively an empty trap, and we've now made it into a toy of the Chompy Mage. And I can take this to my friend's house, and we can play with the Chompy Mage just like our Skylander, regardless of system, which is really, really cool. And so now I'm going to progress forward a little bit, get by some small talk here, and show you what we can do with them.
Straight ahead, Drone 2. Huh?
Chill Bill.
Here comes Mr. Ice Guy!
Cold front coming in.
And now, for the first time ever, we're giving kids the ability to play as the villain. And so now you are in full control of the Chompy Mage, along with his squeaky shoes. And all of those attacks that we just saw him use against us, we now get to use against the enemies in the Skylands. And so I'm going to take the Chompy Mage here, and I'm going to fight some executioners. And so as the Chompy Mage, I can summon my own Chompy minions. I have a pretty sweet Chompy walloping staff.
Chompy, chompy, chompy!
A couple more Chompies to help me out here. But best part of all, I can turn into the Mega Chompy, and I can do my own shockwaves.
Ooh, what a rush! Take that! You got chopped!
And at any time, I can take the trap off of the portal. Chompy Mage is back in here for me to do with as I please, because he's now part of our trap team. So I'm going to go back to playing as our Skylander. And this is Snapshot here. And like I said, he's a trap master. And you can actually see we also have Wallop and Food Fight, who are also trap masters. And outside of being probably the best toys we've ever created, because we're getting better and better with the detail of these guys and learning new techniques. It's fantastic. These toys look great. You'll see soon. Is the fact that they all have unique Traptanium weapons. And so you'll see here with Snapshot, he has a really cool Traptanium bow and arrow, the hammers with Wallop, and the fire shield with Wildfire. And it's that Traptanium weapon that's going to allow them to interact with Traptanium shards blasted into the Skylands. And that'll give them access to hidden areas, as well as additional collectibles, and even additional villains to find and trap. But what's really cool is that because it's their weapon that's made of Traptanium, they also get a damage boost against all most wanted villains, really making them the best, character to play as when trying to trap a villain.
Chill Bill.
Here comes Mr. Ice Guy! Cold front coming in.
And so this is Chill Bill. And you can see he's got a pretty sweet ice pack backpack here, which actually powers up his freeze ray that he can use to turn enemies into ice. But what good is just turning enemies into ice? What if you could switch back to your Skylander and shatter them? And so what we're going to do is have a single button tag team feature where you can instantaneously switch back and forth between your trapped villain and your Skylander, setting up really, really fun combat scenarios where you can freeze a villain and then shatter them, or use any of the abilities and attacks that those villains have in conjunction with your Skylander.
One of my many achievements.
Not bad for someone without a giant chainsaw.
And so, you just heard there, it actually speaks to you when they're in the trap and in the portal. Because what we want to make sure is that kids really feel like they've just performed a magic trick. Like they've given life to these toys. And so you'll actually hear the transition of you pulling them out of the game and into the trap where they speak to you. But also, they'll comment as you're playing the game, as you defeat waves of enemies, discover new areas, and sometimes they'll even just knock on the trap going, I haven't been played with in a while, switch over to me, let me try. Because we really want kids to feel that magic, that this is a character now. And, like I said, like a Skylander, I can take this to my friend's house, regardless of platform. So my Chompy Mage here, or my Shredknot, I can now take over to my friend's Wii, and play with my Chompy Mage or my Shredknot. So there's going to be over 40 unique villains that you're going to be able to find and trap. And so from here we have the Chompy Mage, to Chill Bill, to a big tank like the Shredknot, to a rock and roll werewolf who can actually shred his guitar sending notes at enemies. And most exciting is that you're actually going to be able to trap and play as Chaos, which is pretty big for us and fans of the series. But not only are we bringing the traps, we're also bringing the Trap Masters, which are a brand new class of Skylanders who we're really excited about with their unique Traptanium weapons, as well as a whole new bunch of brand new core characters. But my favorite piece is the fact that every single character from the previous games is also fully supported and can trap and switch between villains at will as well. And so we couldn't be more excited to give you a sneak peek at the game, and we'll be coming out in October.
Alright, thanks a bunch, Lou, for letting me record some of your presentation. I am very, very excited about Skylanders Track Team, and you will be too once you guys see some more of this game. So what do you guys think of the presentation? Let me know in the comments below. For CoinOpTV, we'll see you Portal Masters next time.